Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I will be giving my commentary on Keke Jabbar's interview with the Gossip Girls that just ended some minutes ago. It was an excellent interview. It was definitely necessary for Keke to actually come, rise out of the ashes and speak on this entire situation involving another blogger and Melody and her mom. I'm so thankful that she did the interview and I really enjoyed it. And I want to give a special shout out to the Gossip Girls. The interview was held on Drop the Mic's YouTube channel. I know that you all are subscribed. If not, please do so. And she was joined by her girls, BrownSkynGirl and Tay Talks, juror number 22 from the movie that she is in on Peacock. So I thought that they did a great interview with Keke. Again, it was necessary for Keke to give her side of things. And so I just wanted to give my commentary. So I was taking notes on my device as I was listening. So I have my phone here with my notes. Aren't you thankful for Apple products where everything's all synced up? Okay. So anyway, Keke clarified tonight that after the counseling session, because of course we've all gotten spoilers about the rest of season 6 and the reunion, there's going to be this sort of, I guess, fake intervention on Keke, including with a counselor. And Keke did say that she called her mom and her grandma after the counseling session. Then Keke says that her mom called 2 bloggers. We know that one of them is the blogger that Melody addressed in her Instagram live last week. And then I have my guess on who the other blogger is. Keke denied that she expected Melody to try and override the vote for Keke to not stay in the vacation home. Keke said that Melody had her back majorly. And that is pretty much how I envisioned it. Keke even went on to elaborate and say that, Melody, this show was definitely her brainchild. She pitched it to Carlos King. She is the star of the show. And then at the same time, it's not like she can override something that was voted upon. So I'm glad that Keke had that strong grip on the situation. She is looking at the situation realistically. And she said that Melody had her back. And so she said that Melody went hard for her, even Martell. So I am thankful for that. And she says Stormy and Courtney, they had her back in that situation as well. So at the time that the question was posed, would people hold Melody accountable if she did something wrong? Keke was unaware that something was told to the blogger. She said that Melody asked her outright about it and said to her that, Keke, we're friends. And I figured if you had a problem with me, that you would actually bring it to me directly. And Keke said that she agreed with her. Keke said that, she and Melody are close enough to where if they did take issue with each other, they would bring it up to each other directly. So then, in my opinion, this is where I would say, Keke's mom, Miss Connie, unfortunately, misstepped, because Melody wasn't even aware that there was this so-called issue. And why is she hearing it through her supporters who heard it through a blogger's YouTube live? And I totally agree with that. Why? Because she and Keke are friends for real. So she was probably a little hurt to hear it through her supporters, her millimeters, after they heard it on a YouTube live. But, according to Keke, she's like, we are all good. So she was unaware that something was told to the blogger. And I'm going to circle back around, to what I think were she and her mom's missteps. But Keke said that she will not throw her mom under the bus. She said that she confirmed with her mother that Melody did not do anything to her. So after Melody and even production approached Keke, she said that she went back and spoke with her mom and let her mom know that Melody has not done anything negative towards me. So it sounds like her mom misjudged, allegedly, and in my opinion. Now, Keke thinks that the blogger hyped it up more and added melody to the mix. That is what I took from the interview tonight. When Tay asked Keke if her mom, and the blogger had a three-way call, Keke said maybe. She said she wasn't 100% sure. She would have to go back and look at her phone records. In regards to Keke talking bad about Melody, she said that the blogger is lying. Keke eventually said that her mom should not have talked to the blogger about anything. While I can see that the Keke angle being a distraction from how Melody got the blogger together on her IG Live last week, I do think that it is a result of Keke and her mom, talking to some bloggers off record, slash leaking out information. Allegedly, perhaps they were not leaking out anything before it aired. I'm not sure how the blogger in question, he came to learn so much about season 6 and the reunion. So someone was leaking out info. Maybe it was not Keke or her mother, but someone else. But in any event, if there were not all of these off the record conversations, then they would not be in a position to where all of this could have just totally exploded. But I can definitely see the perspective that the attack on Keke is a distraction from the blogger being checked by Melody on Instagram last week. Definitely a distraction, but they position themselves to be the distraction. Now, Keke said that she and the blogger had a working relationship. I found this to be very interesting. I'm glad that Tay posed the question because it's such an important question. Because if you saw the text messages that the other blogger posted recently, allegedly Keke is saying to the blogger, "I love you, bro," which almost sounds like a friendship. But according to Keke, she defined it as a working relationship. Melody and a producer asked Keke outright about whether or not she was leaking information on the show. Keke denies leaking information about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Allegedly, after Melody's Instagram Live last week, the blogger called Keke's mom and said that he was of the mindset of unaliving himself. And Miss Connie was worried about him all night. I definitely take this seriously. I don't like learning about anyone taking their own life. I can relate to being in such a dark space and a dark mindset. So I don't wish that on anyone, and I take it seriously. I hope that if that was definitely the case, that he definitely sought out a therapist so that he can compartmentalize, that this is just YouTube and not his entire life, and it's not definitive. But that was something that was shared tonight during the interview. Keke said that if Amin doesn't film with her, she won't return to the show. Amin is Keke's husband. And I did think the first thought that came to my mind when she mentioned that was, is that her out in case production does not bring her back for season 7? There is the water toss. We know that the last time that someone had somewhat of a physical altercation was Wanda when she tried to sucker punch Melody at the relaunch of Madani. And she is no longer on Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I've said this in previous videos that I can see Marcel and Tisha trying to milk the water toss as much as they can, primarily in 2 ways. Number one, to try and get Keke off of the show. And they would even bring up Tisha's mom being off the show and telling production that they have to be consistent. And number 2, they would definitely try to milk more money to return to the show for season 7 because of the water toss. And also, if production does not trust Keke and they're convinced that she has been leaking info and or her mom, could they be thinking about not bringing her back for season 7? So Keke said that the blogger told her he was just going to say that someone offered him money to not give spoilers about the show. She said that he really wanted to talk about the Houston trip. At the tea party, Betty was mad at Melody for not clearing up that Stormy never recorded Melody. And then Keke said that since the tea party, Stormy and Mel have been cordial. Now, I always feel like Stormy's energy shifts in a strange way when Melody comes around. Melody makes Stormy a little uncomfortable. One example that comes to mind is Maurice and Kimmy's barbecue, where the water toss took place. Melody went there, and in her confessional, she was like, this is my type of outing. I love a great barbecue. And they were playing cards, and Melody was high energy, and Stormy was just kind of mute. She was sitting next to her, and then she moved her seat and sat closer to Keke. So I feel like Melody's positive energy makes Stormy feel away. But according to Keke, they are cordial. And in regards to Keke being cool with Stormy, she said that she and Mel do not take their issues with people solely based on one of them not being cool with them. And I even saw where some people were in the chat were like, y'all are grown. And I definitely had that thought, like that is some grown women-ish where, you and I are friends. You don't see it for that person. So I'm not going to automatically not see it for that person just because you don't. I'm going to stay out of it, and I'm going to treat that person how I want to be treated in return and go from there. So I think that is very adult, very mature of Melody and Keke. And it really shows that their friendship, it involves two confident women where they don't have to resort to that high school stuff. So I really respected that. Keke said that she does not know how the blogger had info on the rest of season 6 and the reunion. She said that he told her that he had sources, but she does not know who those sources are. I asked if going forward, will Keke's mom not give info to the bloggers? And Keke said that 100% her mom has learned her lesson. And I definitely think that is what is so important, because I feel like Keke's missteps definitely involve the talking to the bloggers. And obviously she cannot control what her mom says or does. Her mom is an adult herself, and then you never kind of grow up to your parents, right? It's just not really like her mom can really scold her or anything of that nature. But I feel like that was probably the biggest thing, like for the blogger to call them and they get emotional and they text things like, I'm about to cry. I just think that is more on the unusual side for a reality TV star to grow that close with a blogger. That would just be my opinion. We've never heard of such a similar situation on all of the other tons of reality TV shows that we have been watching for years, that have been on for years. Now, we've heard of, allegedly some reality TV stars perhaps leaking info to bloggers. You're right. Some people have said it about Kenya and about Nene on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I won't say the blogger's name. I'll say the scenario. It was after one of the times that Nene and Cynthia had fallen out. And then there was like a card and some flowers or something that Nene sent to Cynthia. And allegedly the words in the card had gotten out to a blogger. And then, that was the whole discussion of who leaks things from that show to bloggers. So we've never seen a scandal, though, come out of the leaking to the bloggers. So I feel like this is such an unusual situation, a unique situation. So I would say that is the biggest misstep. Just growing very close to a blogger that is giving commentary on your show, you would want to try and stay as neutral as possible, in my opinion. And I think also there has to be boundaries set between Keke and her mom. Keke's mom does coordinate interviews, so she coordinates the scheduling of interviews for Keke with bloggers. And I think that that firm boundary would have to be set that Miss Connie is just to discuss the scheduling of interviews. She is to not discuss any of the castmates that's on the show or any specific scenes that were filmed for the show. And she would have to learn how to politely but firmly say, I cannot speak on that, or no comment. You'll have to ask Keke, or production would not want us to comment on that, something, so that she does not get caught up in drama. So now there is the question of redemption. Can she bounce back? I feel like anybody can from anything. I don't even like to believe in the whole cancel culture, because someone can totally come back from the ashes. It can be like a Michael Jordan comeback, okay? So you don't want to count anybody out. Therapists say that truth is the basis for all healing. Truth is. And so that's why I feel like this interview tonight was such an important interview for Keke's career on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Tonight's interview with the Gossip Girls was definitely important and crucial. And assuming that everything that she said, everything that I just given you in a recap was the truth, then hopefully coming clean will help her. And sometimes in life, we are uncomfortable, and we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I know that may kind of suck for Keke, but I think just her expressing the truth, acknowledging those missteps, being a little too close with the blogger, leaking information, allegedly, just discussing anything before it airs, I think definitely is a no-no. And her just expressing that, I think, will really help a lot. Now, I don't work on production for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I do not make decisions on if there will be a season 7, and if so, who will come back. So whether or not production is totally turned off about Keke and the situation with her mom and the bloggers, and them questioning whether or not she was leaking info, I do not know how that is going to go over with them. So that is just something that we will have to see. But I found it was interesting that she said if her husband Amin does not film with her, she will not return. And not to think negatively, but my first mind was, I wonder, is this her out in case production will not bring her back? And then they can, if they wanted to make excuses about Keke, they can really stack the deck between the water toss and now this, where they are concerned that she may have been leaking info to a blogger. So if they wanted to get rid of her and they wanted to go all corporate America on her, they definitely got a little file going. You know what I'm saying? So please let me know in the comments, assuming she and her mom are not the one leaking information about the show before it airs, who do you think that person could be? Is it someone from the cast? What do you think about if production, them approaching her about if she was leaking info? Do you think if there's a season 7, will they bring her back? If you were on production, how would you cast the show? Would you bring Keke back? I would love to hear what you all have to say. Thank you so much for checking out this video, my commentary on the Gossip Girls interview. And congratulations again to the Gossip Girls. You all did a phenomenal job. And drop the mic. Thank you so much for reading my question. It really means a lot. I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video, and please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.